ways that are not foreseen. When nothing is right, when all is lost, the most vulnerable are stripped of all they possess. Perhaps just a misfortune and a belief that life will always deliver a fair trial.
That was probably your expression. It was actually my expression while taking a look at this beautiful, beautiful, newly announced game. You know, I'm a huge Dark Souls lover. I see a Dark Souls, I get a boner. In all seriousness, this game looks so goddamn fantastic, from the artistic style of the game with those hyper-realistic graphics and that combat system that really resemble a whole lot to the Dark Souls formula. It's just beautiful stuff. What is up, you beautiful gamers, and welcome back to Role Playing James, to this little lone corner in the internet where we like to talk about video games. Today we will of course be talking about this beautiful jewel that we have in here and discuss a little bit about what we know about it, because it's, you know, you might actually want to set down a little bit down the hype for this one. Now first let's talk about what we see in the trailer, and to me at first sight, talking about the artistic design of the game, it has this fantasy medieval feeling, yet according to the developers, the setting is gonna be in space. And if we actually take a look at the thing, it looks somewhat like Riddick meets Dark Souls. And I say specifically Dark Souls and not medieval fantasy because the setting of some of the factions in the Riddick movies already involves some kind of aesthetic related to the ancient periods of time. And by the little bits of combat showcase that we have in the trailer, it really looks similar to a Souls formula combat system. Quote, Chrono Odyssey, which is formerly known as Project S, is an epic fantasy, massively multiplayer online RPG about time and space. This project visualizes the story of members of the special organization RPJames waging a huge war against 12 gods. In Chrono Odyssey, players can experience a vast world with immersive stories, universe and realistic graphics. Moreover, players can also enjoy unique job systems, maps that transcends time and space, random dungeons utilizes multiple spaces, large-scale RBR contents, high strategies, and excellent combat actions. Chrono Odyssey is led by the CEO of NPIXEL, Spike Bongumbei, who is known for DK Online and Seven Nights. The project started developing in 2019 and is currently being developed to test in 2021. It plans to launch on various platforms such as PC, mobile, and console by optimizing graphics, user environment, and user experience. And yeah, this is pretty much what it's going to be. It's going to be an MMO set in a fantasy world with a mixed blend between space and medieval fantasy with job systems, maybe raids. I don't know, there's a whole bunch of stuff that we can actually talk about in here. Now, I would like to make a parallelism between this game and Black Desert Online, because back in the day, if you saw Black Desert back in the day, back in its prime, it was one of the most beautiful graphical technical prowess that we have for that past generation of gaming. And the approach that they seem to be taking in here, it seems that it's pretty much going to be the same. Hyper realistic graphics, leveraging the capabilities of the next generation of gaming. But here's where it gets interesting. The game is being developed by NPIXEL, a brand new baby rookie company of gaming development. They started a campaign of money funding back in 2017 to be able to develop their very first game, which we'll discuss later in the video. The people behind the company credentials really, they just don't feel my taste as a gamer. The group that founded the company previously worked on Seven Nights, a mobile game. The CEO for the game is Spike Bong Gunbei, who is known for the mixed reception of like the previously mentioned DK Online and the Seven Nights, which actually is quite a successful game coming to Nintendo Switch, but again, it was first developed to mobile devices. And I said that this is where things get interesting because the market and the industry of the gaming in mobile devices, it just doesn't taste as my personal feelings as a gamer, you know? There's nothing wrong, I'm not trying to demerit mobile gaming, but the approach of the companies in this kind of games, it's always based on microtransactions and gacha games. I personally do not enjoy gacha games. Ha! Gay! And you know, this is a practice that has been just so much more common in the gaming world nowadays, where companies decide to sell you rip-offs of games, like selling you the main game, and then they say, hey, if you want to play a little bit more, give us some cash and we'll actually give you a DLC that will complement your game, or actually in some instances story stuff that you won't actually get to know if you don't pay more money to play it. I'm an old gamer, dude. I miss the old gaming world. Take a look at that. I finally unlocked every single secret character in the game. Take a look at that. I finally paid for every single secret character in the game. That's gaming in nowadays for you, summed up in one little sketch. And this is especially like the strong violence approach to your pocket in mobile gaming, and this is pretty much the credentials that we have for these guys. Now, I'm not saying that this is gonna be the case for this game, because it's actually quite a little bit different, or at least the approach that they are taking, it looks a little bit different. The first game that they are developing, it's called Grand Saga. It was supposed to be coming to PC and mobile devices sometime in 2020, but it hasn't happened. It did have a beta back in September, but other than that, it seems that the game hasn't been released yet. It was supposed to launch only on Korea, with later plans for consoles and global launch on 2021. That was, of course, the original plan. As of right now, there is not much information about how the game will be handled. But it's pretty much obvious talking about Grand Saga in here. The main platform for Grand Saga is mobile devices, and like we already said, we know how those gaming media marketing and industry tends to work with mobile gaming. We have a lot of pay to wins and gachas. Now, that being said, Chrono Odyssey is quite the opposite as Grand Saga seems to be, at least in the surface. The main focus will be PC gaming, with later plans for the next gen platforms. That's the main focus. It will be, of course, on mobile devices, but at first sight it seems that the main focus is gonna be PC and the next gen platforms. And I would, of course, stay skeptical about what this game is going to be and keep the hype at decent and moderate levels, since we are talking about a company in here that has the strongest foundation for their games and their credential stuff based on mobile gaming. And you know, I'm not saying that that's inherently bad, because it's probably not. We do have some amazing games out there in the market that, well, if we take a look at another parallelism in here, take a look at Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact is out there ravaging the market. At launch, the game was just a success, a major success. Just like I mentioned before, I do not enjoy gacha games, because if it's already bad enough to have microtransactions to take advantage of the game and have advantage, let's say, for example, if a game is PvP, have advantage with the updates from other players. Imagine when you're not actually sure about what you're paying for. But you know, who am I to judge? Everyone can decide where do they want to spend their money on. I just don't like my wallet being milked the hell out of it by paying microtransactions and loot boxes in this kind of games. It's just not my thing. And you know, especially in Korean games, if you know your stuff about Korean online games, then you know that they are grindy. And some people that plays them, you know, I played a while Black Desert online, and I was actually on the up top of the items in the world, but it was just sucking the hell out of my life, and there was people actually out there paying money that were just happy with their lives and their games because they could just like pay for the items and have money and have the proficiency, monetary power to be out there beating the hell out of us poor Mario gamers. It's not for me. Now, we don't have that much information about if this game is going to take the same approach, but like I mentioned before, take this, the hype levels, tone it down a little bit. Let's hear more about this company, because taking a look at their credentials, their experience, and their way of moving in the gaming industry and world, to me personally, I don't know if it feels your tastes. Mine just doesn't, and it's a shame because the game looks like it has so huge big potential. With that being said, I think that was all for today's video. Do let me know in the comments below what do you think about all of this information, and yeah, we'll keep updating this thing. Let's wait to hear more news. I'll see you beautiful gamers. Remember to stay safe in this perilous world that we live in right now. Stay safe, stay awesome, stay beautiful. I'll see you beautiful gamers in the next one. Stay awesome.